Yeah, I forgot.
Forum, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, and Jonathan's logged in. He's doing it by Zoom. So everybody's here.
Jonathan.
Derwin. John, he said he's available on Zoom. He's watching on Zoom.
Oh, he's here via Zoom.
Okay. Call the meeting to order. Start with roll call.
Commissioner Allen,
Present.
Commissioner Norwood,
Here.
Commissioner Azell,
Here.
Commissioner Waddell,
Here.
Commissioner Stallings,
Here.
Commissioner Orr,
Here.
Ankinen.
Here. Okay. Item number 2, at the commissioner's request, discuss any item of concern on the rescheduled regular session agenda of April 20th, 2021.
I have one. Item 7.5, remote traffic monitoring. Can there be something in the future where we have somebody maybe come in and tell us a little bit about how that works or whatnot?
You bet. Is this on?
Then that's all.
Huh?
Oh, I'm done.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 3, study items. Item number 3.1, discuss proposed downtown Christmas tree project. Gerald, is that you?
Yeah.
Start us off.
We have some special guests tonight
All right.
to talk to us about a great project downtown, the Christmas tree project. And so Nicole Winfield and Dawn Rose are here to talk about it. And I'm happy to talk about some of it too, because there's some responsibility for the city in this project, a lot of which will be one-time costs in preparing the area. But I thought that I'll introduce Nicole. You want to come on up? And Dawn, former commissioner, thank you for being here.
All right. So Kyle Williams and his wife Carol and the rest of their family, Alex and Angela Williams, Matt and Jordan LaRoche, they all had an idea that they wanted to bring a giant Christmas tree downtown. So this year we are going to make that a reality. And coming in November, we are going to present a Christmas event called The One, and it will feature Christ Tree. So Christ Tree will be the nation's largest fresh cut Christmas tree. And we are anticipating 135 to 145 foot tree. The tree will have approximately 20 to 30,000 lights and 10,000 ornaments. And for perspective, the Rockefeller tree usually stands at 75 to 85 feet. So this is quite larger than that tree. The 3 reasons for the event is to remember the real reason that we celebrate Christmas, to gift the community with something that will create memorable experiences for families and individuals, and to highlight the community of Enid and bring in visitors and give residents something to be proud about. The formed committees, we got some committees formed to really dive in and to get started with this big project that we're doing. Dawn Rose is on the engineering committee chair, Ryan Zolodek, Ryan Fawcett, Jessica Nelson, Bob Valonis, Elizabeth Cummins, Sarah Harrian, and Craig McKinley. And these are all individuals. We meet on a monthly basis to talk about what we're going to do, some ideas on decor, just everything about this project. Initially, we wanted this to be a secret, kind of keep it under wraps and do a public unveiling, which we still anticipate, and that will be in July. It will be lit at Lights Up the Plains event on November 26th, and it will run through January 6th, which is Epiphany. We'll take it down. Opening night, we plan a large event with all city choir along with other guests, and we are working very closely with Main Street Enid, Visit Enid, Stride Bank Center to make sure it's a big cohesive event, their parade. We're going to make sure the timing is perfect. We are working to do events that are scheduled mostly for Fridays and Saturdays. And we're also planning on having a tent out there to hold parties and things like that. And we're talking right now about what's going to be inside the tent. Is it going to be vendors? Is it going to be strictly for parties and the sponsors to have their parties? We are working with a video production company to acquire some footage that we can use to market not only Enid, but also Oklahoma. And so we are in talks with Oklahoma Tourism to see, how can we create a relationship and work together to really promote the state as a whole with this awesome experience that we're doing. We're going to push marketing to not only be statewide, but regional. So if you can drive 4 hours from Enid, we're really going to push that marketing through social media, print, advertising, radio, newspaper, things like that. And we anticipate to bring in over 100,000 people with this event, as it is 40 days long that the tree is up. This is a great opportunity for businesses and organizations to get together and collaborate with us, because what we really want to do not only is to push the event, but push what is there to do in Enid. Where can people eat? Where can people shop? Where can people stay? Because we want to create an experience for possibly the whole weekend, maybe a whole day if they're coming during the week. We are also working on an outreach project to go along with this event, and that includes giving 100 families a tree, a Christmas tree, lights, ornaments, and stands that they can put in their home. And depending on COVID situations, we anticipate to go in and even help some people put up these materials in their home. We are very appreciative of any contribution that the city can give us regarding the infrastructure needs that we're going to have in order to make this work and to be as successful as we anticipate it. We plan for this to be an annual event, and we are going to look forward to holiday seasons from here on out. And we're so excited about this project. And the people who are working on this project, they are all huge cheerleaders for Enid. So that is a huge help. I'm in contact. I'm the project coordinator. So I'm in contact with them. I try to be every other week right now because we're in April. And then once we get closer, I'll be in contact with them on a weekly basis to make sure that we have everything organized, that we have everything we need in order to make this work. So right now, Jiffy Trip is our presenting sponsor, and we have other sponsorship opportunities at all levels for everybody in the community. So I'll go ahead and answer any questions that you guys may have.
I have one question.
Oh, okay.
I was say, can you put up the map? That's helpful.
Yes, sorry. Okay, is there a red light?
It's right there, this top
Okay,
button.
perfect. So this is the layout. Okay, and right now, there we go. So the tree is in the middle. Move the stage. This is the stage right here. We've moved it to right here. And the tent will go long ways this way. And so the entrance will face south. Now the stage we're putting here, and it will face north. So if people are singing on the stage, choirs and things like that, they will be facing north. So that will lead to parents, I'm a mom, so I understand wanting to take a million pictures of my kids while they're on the stage, and they will have that tree as well as those other perimeter trees all in the background. That will leave for a beautiful setting back here when you're taking pictures. Now we have the stage right here too, because what we want people to do is we want people to take this walkway and potentially come around this way. We sorry about that. We want to eliminate them walking through the grass here. So that's another reason we're putting the stage here. The ice rink will be over here. And we're anticipating to have a Santa house right over here. So this will be a whole experience area for entertainment and things like that. And like I said, we're working together with Main Street Enid, so we make sure that this all works very well together. And then here is the tree area. And we want that to be, this is a 140-foot tree. I'm just so excited thinking about it. These trees right here, there will be 6 trees on each side, and those will be lit. So there will be there will be a tree with pink lights, pink ornaments, silver lights, silver ornaments, and then green, blue, red, that kind of thing. And then right here, there's some archway trees And those are just two giant trees that meet together. I can't remember how tall they are. They're very large, but they'll create an archway, leaving for an amazing photo opportunity because it's so large in order to get the whole tree in the picture. These will be great for people to stand and take photos. So I think that's about it. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
My question is, if someone desires to give a contribution, can that be considered a charitable contribution that's given to the organization?
It is not a nonprofit, so I don't believe it is.
If you're partnering with Main Street
It's not.
and some of this is being done by Main Street, then presumably a contribution to Main Street that is earmarked for this effort would be tax deductible.
If it is to Main Street, but not to the one event.
But if you're partnering with Main Street to do a lot of this, Main Street does the ice, work for the city and the ice rink, and I'm sure Main Street will work on parts of it, then there may be an opportunity there to run funding through Main Street
Sure.
as a partner and be that carrot as a tax deductible donation, if Main Street's agreeable to it.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
definitely. Anybody else?
It's gonna be really spectacular and with Under Her Wing right there and
Yep.
it's not that area between the street and the event center isn't all grass. I mean, there's a lot of prairie and other plantings there that we don't, I think, want people stomping all on, but that's going to be a thing to see.
And we really thought about that because my concern was, them walking through that because that is a lot of prairie grass and Romy put in a lot of hard work out there. We talked about putting mats, maybe something like if you're rolling strollers or wheelchairs through, but the way we put the stage, I don't know that we're going to need to do that. And, we hopefully can just have them walk through Under Her Wing and enjoy that and then down Grant and through the archway. Or maybe down their Independence there on a sidewalk.
It'll be a big treat.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
How much are you asking for from the city of Enid?
Infrastructure wise, okay.
I don't know yet, but I think it'll be a six-figure amount because what we're talking about, I think I've got some stuff written on the next slide, is right here in the middle, we would need to put a receiver well. That I don't know what that will cost yet. I think we'll probably also want to run some sidewalk from about here. Oh, you can't see that.
Yeah.
From about here on down and probably cut over to here. We do have a good sidewalk already on this side, and we plan to leave the street open. And so that will function a lot for the masses to walk through there and look at the little Christmas trees that are there. So that will add up. Electricity, I don't recall what that cost for the ice rink, but that'll be probably several tens of thousands of dollars, I'm guessing, for the requirements to get in there, because this is a very tall tree with a whole lot of ornaments on it that will take a lot of power. So we'll need to run some power through there. Sidewalks, and I think we'll also want to on the, I guess that's the south side. We'll want to probably smooth some of that out, bring some dirt in, grade it a little bit, maybe even plant some grass or put some sod down. And, I guess I left out here at the entrances, what I would like to do is put some removable bollards. So that'll require some concrete work in there. That way during this season, or for other uses, we could put those bollards in, much like what we did between the connection to the hotel from the conference center. And, that'll cost some money to do that. And on the arches, I don't know if they'll have to have a base. I'm not clear on all that. But so those are the things that I've listed on this next slide. And I think I covered all of them. And so I don't know what that'll cost yet, but I know that we will likely need to come back to you and identify some funds and probably do an appropriation at that time. So what I'm trying to get now is generally a consensus and buy-in. I think this is something that we want to do for the community. A lot of these costs, if not all of them, will be one-time costs that can, in future events, we won't have to put in bollards again and electricity and all that stuff. So I know on the Williams side, and I guess the private sponsorship side. It's my understanding they're taking care of the tree, they're taking care of the lighting, they're taking care of getting it here. I believe some of their sponsors are helping them in that. And so, but it will be a significant endeavor and effort and money. So that's kind of from the city side, what I'm envisioning. And I'm sure all that's going to add up to at least 6 figures, I'm guessing.
I think it'll be spectacular to see. I'm sure that the city, I mean, I'll be gone. I won't get to vote on it, but I'm sure the city will support this. We'd be crazy not to. This is a really cool addition. I think it's just a little bit funny. When we were working on getting Romy's project going, we had all this opposition to using that space for that kind of thing. And I'll never forget sitting through the city council meeting where we had somebody get up for public comment and holler and yell about putting up some pagan religious monument with Romy's thing, which is not at all what happened. That's not what Romy's project was. A Christmas tree originally was a large pagan religious monument. So it's like the height of irony that we are now doing a big, beautiful Christmas tree that is originally a pagan tradition there. And it's going to be beautiful and spectacular. And I can't wait to see it. And it's also, I will never forget that meeting. It's one of the weirder ones we sat through.
Nicole or Don, would you like to add anything else? Or do you have any other questions that we could answer for you? Yes, sir.
Just, and I've talked a little bit with Don about this, but that street where we're going to put in the well, have we called Oki to make sure there's nothing under there like that could surprise us or anything?
We have not called Oki yet, but that would be part of our process, as well as looking at our GIS maps of what's under there. So I know that Chris and his engineering team will not leave any stone unturned to make sure that we have any issues there. I don't know that we have any water lines crossed there, but if we do, we'll have to take that into account, or stormwater line or sewer lines. So, but yes, we will, before we dig, we will call Oki.
It's just in that area of town where we get surprised a lot of times when we open up the ground over there.
Well, that's true. Just because we show something or don't show something, we typically get surprised when we open the dirt. You're right. Don, did you want to say anything?
Just to elaborate a little on what we're asking for, everything that we're kind of asking for this from the city is to enhance the city property. And it's mainly a one-time thing. All part of this, that south area was always looked at to be some form of park. This gives you an opportunity to enhance that area. And maybe there's some trees to take out, some leveling, some sod, some sidewalks to add. We did kind of suggest a sidewalk along Independence there to get there. All these things are good in the end, instead of, us coming with our hand out. It facilitates what we're after. It makes Park Street kind of a viable asset now, maybe even because once the tree's gone, you put the lid on it, it'll be like a manhole cover and, it's gone. But, you have a food truck event on Park Street, or you have a farmer's market on Park Street. All those things are still viable. You have a slope, grassy area that, I don't know. We see it as kind of a partnership on this, and asking for some things that we really think will enhance it, not only for what we're trying to do, but every year after, if we can be successful with this, to come back in and put a tree in the middle of it. So. Any questions on kind of the process of what's involved? I mean, we'll probably start sometime in July talking about this tree, and we've got to get it found. And I think Nicole will, there'll be the whole process, and following it to Enid will all be part of a story that builds till November.
John, are you at liberty to tell how the tree's going to make it here? Or you have a sponsorship for that? Are you able to mention that yet?
I feel like I've got a sponsor. They've committed to us to bring the tree here, but I've not asked them whether.
Just mention that little bit about how.
But we do have.
It's going to happen to get it here.
Part of the issue with getting a tree that large anywhere is just obviously the transporting of it, and the people that that do these trees and California and some malls and stuff that get somewhere close to that size, and they couldn't, it was just getting transportation, the different permit following. And we've got some local industry that hauls some pretty big size long things that were talked to them and they seem very excited about wanting to play a role in this. So that's all real exciting. Once again, local people getting involved in something. So that looks real positive on what it'll take to get something of this magnitude here. So.
Well, in my almost 70 years, I've had the occasion to try and find out which bulb was burned out. Are you going to be in charge of that for me?
There's 20,000 lights. Let's hope if a couple go out, we don't notice, but it's going to be a lot. Just the semi-load of decorations and lights is a lot. It's a pretty interesting endeavor, but we think we can do it. Okay. Excited about trying to make it happen.
All right. Okay, thank you. All right. Item number 3.2, review a proposed resolution providing new rules for conducting meetings of the City Commission of Enid and Enid Municipal Authority, Enid Economic Development Authority, and Enid Public Transportation Authority. Over the, last 6 months, maybe year, we've kind of gone through this thing where we're trying to figure out when is it Robert's Rules of Order and which one counts and which one don't. And each governing body kind of makes their own rules and fashions them against Robert's Rules of Order. That's the guide that you use. So if you don't have any rules, you use Robert's Rules of Order. If you do, they need to be in concert with that, but you can define it the way you're going to. So we've always had one, but especially with 3 new commissioners coming on, it just seemed like a great time to be able to take a look through that and make sure everybody's on the page. So I asked Carol to draw up some new rules for that, and we wanted to go over those tonight.
Rules haven't been changed since 2012. And what I did was previously the draft had several pages that talked about how to, the notices and the requirements for calling and posting meetings. And those requirements are found in the open meeting law and partially in the charter. And actually, we were paraphrasing and looking at the open meeting law or the charter is better than paraphrasing notice requirements and those sort of things. So I took those, for the most part, I took those out and just focused on once we get to the meeting, what do we do at the meeting? And our previous versions left certain matters implied rather than spelled out. So I added some clarifying sentences that the presiding officer, as he does at most meetings, from time to time, he lets a person speak longer than the 3 minutes or the 2 minutes. He will let them speak again. He'll take a item out of order. Those kind of things are within his purview. And they can, of course, they can be appealed by a member of the governing body. So if he's being generous with time, the governing body could say, Mayor, let's be more strict about the 3-minute rule, that sort of thing. But absent any comments, you run the meeting. And let's see, the next thing that I put in a little tiny bit about motions. I added a motion to table or a motion to take from the table. It needs a second. It's not debatable. And the items can be tabled indefinitely or until an event occurs or to a particular meeting. And a motion to call the question. Those are really about the only motions we usually have other than amendments. Calling the question, and this is something that you guys could consider. Okay, so A motion to call the question ends debates and curtails further motions other than a motion to table. It requires a second. It's not debatable. And I have down that a simple majority is required for passage. Now, Robert's Rules of Order has a different scenario. They want a supermajority to call the question. But Robert's Rules of Order involves groups like yourself and then groups that are like 500. I thought in general, we've had call the question maybe one time every 2 years. And we've usually, the person calls the question and we just go ahead and say, okay, we're calling the question and we don't even vote on it. So to me, requiring a supermajority wasn't necessary. And then our rules from 2012 did not provide that people have to sign up before the meeting, but our sign-up sheet said they had to sign up before the meeting. But of course, the only people, if you haven't seen the sign-up sheet, you don't know that rule. And, because you haven't signed up. So I had gotten some comments that you all liked having people sign up before the meeting. So I put it in that you should sign up before the meeting. And I'm assuming that people could sign up after the study session, before the regular session began. I did make an exception for public hearings. We don't have to have that exception, but public hearings are set so that we get comment from the public. So to me, and we're going to have a public hearing tonight about the CDBG allocations. And to me, it would make sense that if it is a public hearing, you can just stand up and speak for one moment. For your 1 3-minute period and not have to sign up before, because it's explicitly for your speaking.
Excuse me, Carol,
Yes.
when is the sign-up sheet made available to the public? Is there a time that they can come in?
It's before the meeting, and it's before the regular meeting as well, unless you guys want to consider the study session and the regular meeting as one meeting. But I would assume if you got there a few minutes early, you also on certain times, people start calling days ahead. And when that happens, the clerk or myself provides sheets. So during the events of the last year, we've had quite a few times when they have gone to City Hall to sign up.
Okay, because I thought we used to have it out pretty early, because a lot of times, individuals are at work. So we made it available to them pretty early in the daytime. Is that right, Gerald? Or?
Yes, it's as Carol said, the actual sheet may not get put out much before the meeting, but anybody that wants to sign up, if they come and let us know, the city clerk or someone in the city attorney's office, we'll be glad to write their name down. And we've done that many times before.
They can,
Thank you.
within reason, if they get a hold, now, don't leave a message on a phone, but if you get a hold of the city clerk or someone in my office, we can take a verbal and write their name down for them and let them know what the item is. But
For that matter, the city manager, assistant city manager, if you let somebody know,
yes,
we will do our very best. We are not trying to exclude people from coming to talk.
Carol, I have a question.
yes.
I understand because I've read these and I think I understand. So if we have a situation like we had at the last meeting or some other meetings where a gentleman sitting back there hadn't planned to talk, hadn't signed up, but gets emotional about an issue and wants to talk and it seems like at the last meeting, they found some paper and signed up during the meeting. So are we saying that is out, that you sign up before the meeting starts or you can't talk?
That's what these rules say.
Okay, that's what I thought the rules said.
Except that of course,
The mayor.
certain circumstances, the mayor could say, I'm going to suspend the rules and let someone talk, depending on the circumstances.
Sometimes people show up, they want to watch, they want to see what's happening, and some member of the city council says something screwball, and all of a sudden the I'm here to watch goes, well, hang on, I need to respond to that. I mean, there are times where, what's on the agenda may be relatively benign, may even be here for something else, but an agenda item can go totally down a weird path. And I feel like folks should have the opportunity, if they're here, because we don't get that many people here. If you're here and you've sat through the meeting, then I feel like we should err on the side of letting folks talk.
Well, I think I will, but I think the general rule needs to be, you got to start with some rules to begin with. And I think signing up before the meeting is when you should do it. If something comes up, there may be occasion where you would want them to speak, but what we don't want to do is our public meeting turn into a town hall meeting, because that's not really what it is.
We could also move public discussion up towards the beginning of the agenda. I really hate when we've got somebody, and this has happened before, we've had somebody who they feel like their only opportunity to give input to the governing body is to sign up for public comment and share concerns with us. And we make them sit through 4 hours of budget hearings or, 3 hours of talk about something totally unrelated. And then we get somebody sitting in the back of the room who wanders up and has a legitimate concern to voice to us, but we made them show up at the beginning of the meeting, sign up, sit through 3 hours of unrelated stuff, killing their whole evening so they can spend 2 minutes talking to us about their problem. There might be a better way to encourage that kind of input without wasting people's time so much.
Yes, and it was at the suggestion of someone else that I put you have to sign up before. I can understand that, but I was attempting to get rules that you all.
I think it'd be a better change if we make people sign up before, then maybe we could also, and I know other governing bodies do this, that they stick public comment, after the Pledge of Allegiance. We do, if you've got public comment, stick it at the front of the agenda. If there's just general public discussion, it's different. Obviously, someone signing up to speak on a specific agenda item.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're just coming to us with input about a thing or to tell us about a problem or make us aware of something. Do we have to make you sit to the very end?
Well, I don't object to that. The only exception I would make is if it's something that's on the agenda for discussion that evening and people are going to do public comments before we even get into it, that really doesn't make that much sense to me.
Well,
if
but then
they
we want
wanna
them to
talk-
speak
if
on the
it's just
agenda item.
public comments that are not related to the agenda, then I don't know that I have a problem with that.
And there's a place for that. I talk to a lot of people that I don't have a solution for them. And my answer always is come to the meeting and talk to us. And so that Ben's right. Ben and I don't agree on a lot, but tonight I think we're on the same footing. I think we need to give the opportunity for folks to speak and as best we can. And we don't want to, we need to have control of our meetings, but by the same token, we don't want to squelch legitimate discussion. So.
Okay, then I can
Does it help?
advance public comment to right after the organizational business.
Right.
And expressly indicate that that's not to be used to discuss something that's on the agenda.
Right.
And that,
And we can also stop somebody. If we have somebody who signs up and starts talking at the beginning of the meeting, we can go, oh, hold on. I maybe misunderstood. I think you mean to speak as to agenda item, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you come back then?
Yeah.
And have them sit back down, hang loose.
No, that all sounds reasonable.
I did add under public input that a person may not give their time to another person.
Right.
And that is, I also added, I know you all as the members of the governing body know this because it's covered in, well, I'm actually not positive that it's covered by the OML, but members of the governing body have legislative immunity while you all are sitting debating things. And so I added that in to the rules. It does allow the presiding officer to call a member to order, but that's really the only remedy. And it would be something that the members of the governing body handle, not anyone else.
Carol and,
Yes.
and Mayor, so that I can fully understand, are we leaning towards having public comments for general concerns at the beginning and then public comments at the end for things that are going to be on the agenda?
No. If they want to talk about item 7.2, they'll talk about it when we do 7.2.
Okay, at that time.
Right.
Okay,
One period for
thank you.
public comments, not on the agenda.
Okay.
Any other?
Carol, I appreciate this. As soon as I saw this come across the agenda, I read it and it's a great idea. It's always good to address these things, and especially since we got some new folks coming up, and it just helps level the playing field for everybody. That's what it does. It's not putting any parameters on anyone. So thank you very much for putting in the time. And thank you, Mayor, for asking to have it done.
You know, a lot of cities no longer provide public comment, but I actually think it's good to allow residents to come in and, you know, we want input.
Yeah, as do I. I think public comments is an important part of the meeting. I don't want it to take the place of contacting your elected representatives, you know, in the 2 weeks in between meetings, because certainly that's something we should do as well. But yeah, I think everybody's voice should be heard if they want to speak. So thanks, Carol.
And Mayor, you know, I wanted to bring out, I really enjoyed the town hall meetings that we had, because it allowed people to, you know, speak to us and to address some concerns. And I've seen some results of it from some of the town hall meetings that we had. And you know, Gerald, we had spoke about it, and we were wondering if anyone was going to show up. The room was almost completely full and packed out, and it was very orderly. There was no disorder, and I think that went well. And I think that's something that we shouldn't just do away with. And I think moving forward in the future, if we can, to continue to have dialogue and conversations with the public.
Now, that's one of my goals for this year, is to get town hall meetings set up for each one of the wards. One of my thoughts, it's still kind of swirling around a little bit, but one of the thoughts was we have them all the same day, and we have Ward 1 over here, 2 over there, 3 over here, different areas, but a common location. And then if we want to get together at some point, or they'll usually want the mayor to come, but not for the whole thing, because they want to be with their elected, their constituents. So they want to get the feel there. So I'd be available to go rove from each one of those. So that's one possibility. But yeah, I would like each one of the commissioners to, and I don't know how often we do it, but I think maybe we let's do one and then figure out what you think is right. Some may think it needs to be 3 months in their word. Others might say, no, you know what, that's too much, maybe every 6 months. But we do need to be more in contact with the public.
Okay.
Thanks, Carol. All right. Item number 4, we're going to stand adjourned and we'll reconvene again at 6:30.